Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday! To celebrate International Yoga Day, we return to topic of yoga again.
Yes, so next week, 21st of June, is International Yoga Day. And today we have one of your favorite guests returning to the podcast.
Let's welcome Himanshu. Hi, Himanshu.
Hi,
Hi everyone.
Himanshu.
Hello. Hi. So good to
Welcome
see
back.
you again. Thank
Yes.
you.
Himanshu, so I'm so happy that we will see each other again and we will have another opportunity to talk about yoga and male wellness journey. But just to remind our listeners, Himanshu is my teacher from my yoga teacher training, which I have done in Yoga Union in Bali. So, Himanshu, tell us just a few words about yourself.
Hi everyone. As we already met before in this same podcast, I'm Himanshu. I originally from India, from Rishikesh. Rishikesh is basically a small city in the north of India, which is also known or famous for known as a yoga capital of the world. And I've been living in Bali, working for a school as called as Yoga Union, and where I met Magda first time. And yeah, I'm looking forward again for the season two of our this podcast. I'm super happy to be back, and yes, let's talk more about yoga. I love it. I love this topic, so I'm super excited.
To celebrate International Yoga Day, we want to tell our listeners more about yoga. So we record episode with Aka about philosophy, an episode with you about your journey in yoga and yoga in general. But can we talk more about what yoga is?
What yoga is for me, basically, I would say yoga is for me having a relationship to myself, and once I'm having a relationship to myself, then I know how to have a relationship to the others. It doesn't have to be a person, it can be for anyone. It can be towards the nature, it can be towards the people. So I
Mm.
think this is what yoga actually mean to me. It's having a good relationship to myself and then towards the others. And this is what I learned from yoga specifically.
Yeah, many people think of yoga only maybe as a way to build their body to look good, but I'm sure there's must be other reasons, right? Can you share with us why we should actually practice yoga?
Honestly, as a yoga teacher, I see yoga as a practice for the everything, like for the whole person, not just the body. Well, it strengthens the physical, it strengthens us physically, definitely, but it also helps quiet the mind and regulate the nervous system very differently. In a word that, like, when constantly like when everything is pulling our intention outwards in the well in a simple way, if I say, is like when we have to give the energy a lot of to give the energy to the a lot of other things, as of our
Mm.
work and everything, that is the only time when yoga invites us to slow down and listen inwards. And this is what I love about yoga as well. The connection can uh, positively influence every aspect of our lives. And this is, I think, definitely this is one of the reason why all should do yoga as well, because the quietness it gonna gives you towards the end, that is magical.
So, how practicing yoga can help us in our daily life?
Well, I think the answer gonna be something a little bit similar what I just said before, in terms of like when in everyday life, when we are basically our attention is taking a lot of into other things, work, family, friends, and all those stuff. I think when you're gonna practice every day sitting with yourself, that gonna helps you to having a discipline with yourself, with your body, with your everyday life, that gonna basically help you to get discipline. First thing is that. Second thing is gonna help you to quieten your mind and knows how to make a decision, imp- not passively, like very fast. You can slowly digest what comes to you, and then you can think about it, and then slowly, if you're practicing yoga like in your everyday life, basically it gonna helps you to slow down yourself, mind and body, and that is
Mm.
how you can take a lot of good decision for everything, even if it's come for the work or even it's come for the relationship, even it's a relationship to yourself or to your towards your work, that definitely this is gonna bring so much benefit if you're gonna practice every day to yoga. And of course, let's not forget, yoga has not only this, but yoga also have a benefit towards our health. And
Mm,
and this is always I see tell my students as well, is do not think yoga just as in a physical practice, or for example, do not get influence towards the arm balancing a lot. But yoga is much more than that in terms of like performing a lot of the poses. And when you hold those
mm,
poses, and it's not specifically arm balancing, even just a simple forward fold, it brings so much benefit in your body. So, and basically it helps us to be, because what yoga poses do, they directly benefit our uh, internal part of the body, internal organs, and each posture have their own benefit towards our
mm,
organs. And the more, if I ask like, what if the organs are fully healthy or are healthier, automatically the rest of the body become healthier. Automatically your
mm,
mind will be more healthier. The automatically you will be more calm, because everything is connected. First, your inside of the body, your organs, your blood circulation, your body, your breath, if it's everything become under control, then you will see everything can come easily for you, like for your everyday life. So this is, I say, according to me, yoga, we should do it every day, so then it gonna help us into all of this. Of course, it gonna strengthen us, but at the same time it gonna make us healthy day by day.
So, Himanshu, I remember when I was doing my 200 hours, I learned that, as you said, every asana has a benefit on our body. I didn't know that before, to be totally transparent. And I right now practicing asanas more cautious, more carefully. I know how to do that, but in general, here in Europe, we said we are doing yoga, we go to yoga, but yoga is not just asanas, it's much more. Can you tell us, for this International Yoga Day, what is yoga in general?
Definitely. It's a very good question, because yes, we have so many students coming from all over the world at the same time, and this is what all of them, they have a belief of, like yoga is just in a physical practice. And as you said, like yoga is more than that, a lot more than that. Yoga is also about the breathing. Yoga is also about the meditation. Yoga is also about the mindfulness. So I think yoga is all about the connection in the end. This is what yoga also mean as well, like connecting yourself connecting to yourself, connecting to your body, connecting to your mind. Okay, so my mind, body, and soul connection. Okay, so well, for me, I would say every day should be day of yoga day. Okay, we should celebrate every day as a yoga day. First of all, I think it's a good thing to have this special day, yoga day, because this way, I think more people can get encouraged about it, and people might sometimes people just do it because it's a yoga day and they just do it for a one day. But sometimes even that one practice for an hour or something, it slightly take their mind towards that, and they encourage from this practice, and now they want to do more. And I did met so many people as well. They says, oh, I've been to one of the yoga festival, and on the International Yoga Day, and I just really liked it, and I felt like I want to do it more. So I
mm,
think it's a great thing to have that. But afterwards, once you come into it, I think it should be every day as your yoga day. And then you can keep practicing for yourself, for your healthy body, for your mind. So definitely yoga is much more than that, and we should think of yoga not just as a physical practice, but for our mind, body, and connection. And we should keep adding pranayamas in our practice. We should keep adding some meditative movements in our practice. So then slowly with the time, definitely from the first day, if you're gonna think I'm gonna meditate, it's not gonna be that easy, not gonna be that simple. So many things gonna comes in your mind, but we need to learn how to let it go with those things, because this is something what we need to learn also in our everyday life as well. Because of course, so many things comes in our everyday life which can bother us. But if you practicing and your practice is that strong, then slowly you will also know how to overcome with those those things which generally interrupt you, but you know how to handle those situations. I will add one more thing. I know this gonna become longer, but I really wanted to say that because when it comes to yoga as a physical practice as well, we come to sometime into those kind of position where we cannot stay that long. And I'm sure, Magda,
Mm.
you experienced that with us. But what happen is you fight with it. You fight with it in terms of, but not in a wrong way, but in a good way. Like you're like, okay, I can do it. I can stay for one more. Okay. And this is how what happen is you become stronger. First of all, with the body, and this is what makes your mind also stronger.
Mm.
And the same thing when it's gonna come to your life, you'll be like, oh, I know how to handle that. I've been to the weird places before, and I know how to handle those situations, so I can handle this easily, easy peasy.
Yeah, easy peasy. I think after 200 hours, you know that sometimes when I'm on my mat, I hear your voice, Magda, you can do better. Come on, let's go. You can do better. So it's
Well,
still after 3 years, it will be 3 years now. I still hear your voice.
well, as long as you're not traumatized, perfect.
No, I'm coming for 300 hours, so it's not
Perfect.
traumatizing.
So
That's
perfect.
good.
That's how.
Also remind our audience the pose does not need to be perfect to benefit the organs, right?
Very, very right. Very right. Like
Yeah.
exactly. It's not mean like you have to be in the full expression of the position, even though you are not right now, even though you feel
Mm.
like it's super far from you. Maybe you are a someone fun first day in the yoga mat, and that's perfectly fine. You are still gonna benefit a lot out of it. The more your muscles gonna stretch, the more your
Mm.
breath gonna move into the muscles. It automatically gonna help you much more, even in your organs, even your healthier way. If you're practicing yoga just to for the health reasons, definitely gonna help you. Very good point.
Well, a lot of our audience, I'm sure, maybe practice yoga or maybe just here for Himanshu. And but what about? I know that it's good to practice yoga on a daily basis. But what about for those who have done yoga before, but with their busy life, they might not have time to do it? How do we? I'm asking this actually for myself. How do you motivate people like me or people like that to get back to yoga? Maybe not on a daily basis, but come back to the practice when we can.
Well, that is a great question what you ask, because again this question also we have almost in every training. Like people ask like, after this training, now what, where should we start from, what should we do now, how can we continue?
Mm,
I don't have a time because I have a job. I have some people are married, so kids, or I don't know, like so many stuff can be there. I would say one thing. I understand all those things which can stop you doing this practice, but I would say in the end we all have a time. We all can find a time. It is all about the priority in the end. Okay. Well, even though I'm not gonna miss or take it in a way of like, I some people really can have a busy life with so many work plus kids or family or relationship like this. But I think if we want to give a time, we can always give. Even giving 15 minutes to ourselves, you already doing
mm,
something. For an example, let's say I don't have a time to perform in 1 hour practice, but in 15 minutes, maybe if you do 2 rounds of sun salutation A, two
mm,
rounds of sun salutation B, just a sun salutations itself, it's already you practice something. And I'm telling you, when you start from this, when you start this bit, then you want to continue. You don't want to stop there,
mm,
because what happen is you create a heat. The blood circulations start moving in your body much more differently. And we always says like the moment your head goes down below the heart, then automatically you feel more energized,
yes.
and that's help you to move more faster. And a lot of time I tell my students, but this is for especially for the people like who are more or less intermediate practitioners. If some days you don't feel motivated, just do a headstand or do
Mm,
few jumps in a handstand, like just doing that as well. Sometime when the blood circulation come towards your head, it makes you more energized automatically.
mm,
And then you feel like, oh, now I feel more energized and I can continue now the practice. Okay, then you can start from basic as well. But however, let's just say some days like you don't have a time, maybe give yourself 15 minutes. And I think we all can have 15 minutes, definitely. Maybe just doing 15 minutes of those pranayama, or maybe those 15 minutes to do some gentle stretches, maybe 15 minutes for doing some just some sun salutation. It's gonna automatically give you something out of it. Instead of doing nothing, something will happen. And last thing I can add here is, because a lot of people say, how could I be feel motivated? Sorry, how can I feel motivated? Uh, see, more becoming a motivated for yoga, I would say a few things you can do it is, do not go into the yoga mat without plan what you're gonna practice.
Mm,
Because this is one thing I believe, when we go to yoga mat and we don't know what to do, we sit on the mat and we do maybe some cat cow stretches, maybe one two sun rotations, and we're like, and we feel lost. I'm like,
mm,
"Shit, what should I do now?" And then we go shavasana or maybe just fold the mat. So I would say maybe plan something, but what you're gonna practice before. So when you have a plan already in your mind or even in the notebooks, and when you have a plan, you can able to practice minimum for 30 to 45 minutes or an hour already. So
mm.
this is something might gonna help. And second thing which I would say is, if you are someone who really like your practice, but again sometimes lacking of the motivation, keep your yoga mat open in your house.
Mm,
Don't close your yoga mat. Because once your yoga mat is open, as even you walking out from the place, you see
yeah.
your yoga mat, you feel like you want to do something there. Maybe it's just one jump to the handstand, maybe just a one step towards the headstand, or maybe it could be anything.
The
Okay.
calling of the mat.
Exactly, the calling of the mat. So
Yeah.
mat automatically gonna call you, and you're gonna do something on it. And this is how might after few
Mm.
days you will keep, you will continue the self practice as well.
I think, like Cecilia, last week we talked about rituals, and I think one of my daily ritual is influenced by Himanshu because, as I said in the previous episode, even if I'm have a busy day, if I travel, I step on my mat for 10, 15, 20 minutes just to start the day and don't miss that. If I don't have time for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half training, I still can practice for like 10, 15 minutes, and that stays in my daily ritual. So I think, Imanshu, you influence me in that in that
Last,
area.
last time after we record, the whole week of gym, I switched to yoga immediately.
That's
Oh
That's
wow.
how
great.
much I
See,
influence.
that's
Yeah.
great. So after the recording, you will be celebrating International Yoga Day
Yes,
on your mat. That's
Perfect.
perfect.
absolutely. I love that.
And we will come back to yoga topic at the end, but for now, let's switch it a little bit. See, can you switch the
Yeah.
topic?
So we've already touched on this in episode 13 with you, a little bit about male wellness, but we can go a little bit deeper today. Now, what do you think men often misunderstand about wellness or self-care?
See, I believe many men focus on strength and performance, uh, but overlook the rest, mindfulness, and emotional well-being, basically. uh but what I want to say is, like, wellness isn't just about having a strong body. It's about having a clear mind, and this is what I was saying before as well, as what yoga gonna help to having a clear mindset. uh well, it gonna also help as a balanced nervous system and a healthy relationship with yourself. And this is, as I also saying, like, when you ask me what yoga is for me, it's like a relationship to myself. And self-care, I would say, isn't just a reward. It's a foundation. It's a foundation for living well and supporting yourself and the others. So I think here where most of the men's get lost, where it just comes when it comes to only how we are looking in terms of bigger muscle. Again, I'm not against that, definitely not. uh in a way, maybe it is important to strengthen the body, but again, let's not forget the of rest of the thing as well, which is basically gonna more help us more into our everyday life than just being a huge body.
Yeah, you talked about emotions. Now, research shows that in generally speaking, women tends to handle emotion a little bit better, maybe. We sometimes lean on our friends, our family, and talk things through. On the other hand, men are more likely to keep things inside. And for you, have you noticed any changes in your own mind or emotion since you started yoga? Has yoga helped you in any way, or have you seen anybody change from your students, your friends as well?
Well, again, a very good question. It has to take me back to my before yoga time, like when I didn't study yoga. Well, I was always in touch with yoga, but like let's say when I was before I came regularly into this practice, um, yeah, before that I was totally different person. I would say like, I mean, I was young, definitely, and you can say like, well, young person or body like me have this kind of um signs like a little bit short tempered, can
Mm,
react for anything very fast. So yes, I was that person definitely. And I remember after practicing yoga for a couple of days how much my personality got switched. And tell you the truth, like my parents literally asked me, "Are you okay?" The way I was talking to them, it was like literally they were surprised about it. Like, "Are you fine?"
wow.
I'm like, "Yeah. What's wrong?" And they were like, "No, just wondering." So I mean, of course, they never said it, but uh, now when I think back, I think, okay, this is what they meant because I see the changes on myself definitely.
Mm,
Uh, I could not be the person who can just sit on a one place and stay there at at that time. But now, if you ask me, okay, you just have to be sitting here and having a chatted about yoga or whatever. Like I can be sitting patiently and can have conversation for longer, or I can be, like meditating pranayamas. I could do this now easily, and I would say everything what I am today, it's because of yoga as well, and that is the reason also I want to share this with the others as well. That is why also it happens like I become a yoga teacher at the same time to share this. So definitely I feel so much different, and a lot of bigger change. Like I'm it's a like I become a lot more aware about my emotions.
mm,
um Sometimes in the past, like I used to push my feelings aside, or staying busy on other things, like staying also busy like dealing with them basically. Now as yoga teaching me to slow down a little bit at the same time
mm,
and observes what happening, like and response and responsive. Now response come with a more awareness, and rather than like reacting right away into
mm,
automatically, like reacting on things. So this is what generally helped me. And also a lot of students ask me, and I think Magda would be also agreed on that, is a lot of students ask one question is like, we ask you same question again and again, and how come you very calmly answer those questions, and even the questions repeat like 5 times 10 times, and you're very calm, you're very patient with us. And but if I would take myself back on that time, I wouldn't. I would be like, basically, let's literally say, it's like, why you not understand this? But now I am taking it because again, a helping of yoga, I know what people can deal with it. And at the same time, so I am being very patient uh to answer them maybe 10 times. If they have the same question, I'm replying them 10 times, telling them 10 times, and make sure they understand this. So all this come because of the yoga. And yes, I did see similar thing to some of our students as well. And when we
mm,
say specifically as a male in it, I would say yes, a lot of people, a lot of males as well, we see a lot of difference, because when they come to yoga practice in the first day, on the day one, it was more as a physical practice. It's more about like,
mm,
oh, like let's go with the handstand crow and all those things. But now after a few days of practicing, this small change we can see on them, because they automatically go or moving their journey towards a healing journey as well now. Okay,
Mm.
and this is a time when might after a few days some emotions can come out of them as well, like some of the men can cry, which we talked about in our previous podcast
Yeah.
as well, and that's become quite common in the yoga classes right now, and I feel grateful I could able to create that space for them,
Mm.
where they can actually release those emotions. So yoga creates a space in the end, and where they can reconnect with themselves. So, and that's is, and after few that like they can feel like the becoming self-awareness. uh so this is what we can see the changes on them after couple of days. But yes, in the beginning it might comes more as yoga as a physical, but after a few
Mm.
days the changes happen. Every day doing some pranayamas, every day doing yoga practice, they also say towards the end like they feel um grounded now basically towards the end
Mm.
of the training. And but before that it was a little bit hard for them because again they done yoga mostly as a physical practice.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Himanshu, how has yoga influenced the way you handle stress, pressure, and maybe even burnout?
Well, see, the thing is, again, because practicing every day, and as I said before, it's like when we practice yoga, sometimes we come into those kind of posture which is can be quite challenging for the body. And yes, definitely we want challenge in a way afterwards, after a couple of practices. So we come into those practice poses which already give us a lot of challenge to our body. And how do we keep ourselves calm on those poses? With breathing.
Mm.
And the more we breathe through those poses, it automatically help us to uh to handle that stretch, the pain, or the that good sweet pain I'm feeling at that moment. It help us. So I think uh it automatically, I personally at the moment until now I don't feel burnout. Maybe just because I would say, like, I can use this term because I would say I'm being lucky. I found what I really love, and I can share. Until now, again, I would not commit for the future. Maybe after 1 year I feel burnout, that can be possibility happen. I'm a human being in the end. But until now, as I'm teaching yoga for almost now 10 years, I never felt a burnout yet from this trainings or from this practice. I am still same motivated, going to the class, teaching, coming back, doing my own practice, or you can say sadhana. Basically, in India, we say like I'm gonna do my own sadhana, like on practice. Um, and this is I'm doing from a long time right now, and I did not felt burnout yet. Okay, but at the same time, what is just helping is like regular practice. That is what
Mm.
helping me already so far.
Consistency, I think,
Consistent.
the
Perfect.
favorite
Exactly.
word of our guest
Discipline,
in the Monday
consistency.
Duo
Yeah.
podcast.
And
Yeah.
I'm
Consistency.
sure Magda would agree the breathing really helps with the grounding as well. As Magda, you're a breath worker, right?
Yes, I agree with that because I know how breath can help me even clear my mind or prepare my body and my soul and my mind for the whole day. Every day is different, so you might feel different emotions. And breathing, meditating, it's helping us to, for me, it's clearing my mind for the everything that will come and give me a space to be more with myself every day.
Yeah.
Like, so when I wake up, I'm forever grateful that I can do that and I can live another day. And I think this space to be connected with you with the breathing is really important because on the everyday basis we don't even recognize that we are breathing. So conscious breathing or meditations help us to be aware of our emotions, be aware of our own thoughts, and have a space to live a happy life, I think, for me.
Very nicely said. What point, one point which I would, what you said is like on the daily life we don't even think about our breath. That is very right. And well, just practicing a little bit in the morning, that automatically is gonna help you to think about it more often throughout the day.
Yes, I always remember when I'm on my mat that you are screaming like, guys, remember to breathe. Like, guys, come
Yes,
on,
exactly, exactly.
breathe. Yeah.
It's the most important thing in a yoga practice. I even say, like, what makes yoga and exercise different is the breath. If you
Mm.
remove breath from the yoga, it's not yoga anymore. It become exercise. But it will only gonna make it yoga when you're gonna connect your breath in the moment with the moment and in the poses.
So, Himanshu, how we can celebrate International Yoga Day? Do you have any thoughts, any ideas?
Yes, I would say first of all, as I mentioned before, is once you come into this practice, make this practice every day as a yoga day. However, let's talk about this specific special day is how can we um, practice, or how can we make it this more special, is I would say if it's possible, maybe go to the community around if you have of yoga community. If you don't have, that's a different story, but if you have it, maybe go there and practice all together. The more you're gonna practice together, the more energy of the class it's gonna be amazing. And you're gonna feel more motivated from the other fellow students or a teacher. So I think that one thing if you can do would be great. But let's just say the other option, if you do not have a community around you, maybe just sitting in your mat, doing some breathing, and maybe perform 108 sun salutation. Try if that can you can perform. Again, it's not about the number in the end. Don't think about I have to finish this number. First of all, 108 number, it becomes, oh, 108. Oh, that's too much. I understand that, but first of all, it's just a number. But in the end, even though that makes you feel already too pressurized, don't think about the number. Just think or have a goal of like, I'm gonna practice 108 sun salutation now. Put your mat on, do small movements, and start doing the sun salutation and think about 108. Maybe you've done before that, and that's perfectly fine, doesn't matter in the end. And then give yourself in the end the time to sit, relax, or staying in a shavasana for a little bit longer, to let those practice to digest in your body, and make your mind and body relaxed. So one thing I would say this is to, if you don't have anyone, if you don't know what to do, just do this. Okay, but otherwise if you have community, go around, go to yoga classes, or just, I'm sure there is a, on this special day, a lot of a lot of yoga teachers or people are doing some things, maybe in a garden or maybe in a yoga
Mm.
studio. Just join that, because we need motivation in the end as well. It's not about like I should be just practicing by myself always. No, sometimes we do need a motivation, so we can goes on those days, and this way you're going to meet more people who love the same thing what you love as well, and they do love the same way, same passionate way as you do it. So you're going to meet them, you're going to become more motivated, you're going to practice more, maybe you start going more to the classes. And I think this is the one thing you can do it definitely.
What are you doing for International Yoga Day?
Well, luckily, this month, our International Yoga Day is coming on the same day of when we give on the last day of the training. And on the last day of the
Oh,
training, we also make our student to do 108 sun salutation. So luckily, we have a similar day coming. But however, if it's not, we generally put, because we have 2 or 3 trainings together in the same time. So we bring them all together as well
oh
in the one
wow.
shala, and we make them practicing everything together, because it's a, in the end it's a special day. So we make them practice together, because again, the energy, the more the people are there, the more energies
Hmm.
become higher. So that's what we do. And what I am going to do specifically, again, I'm gonna definitely sit with myself for a while, meditate, and maybe have a year, gonna have a year, not as in a goal as I want to achieve something, but I'm gonna thankful
Mm.
for the last 1 year what yoga gave it to me. And I'm gonna put some goals as what I want to achieve, not as just in a practice, but as an in my internal body and with the yoga, what I would do like to do more, or how much I would like to share, and how can I share more. So I'm gonna try to think this definitely, and this is what I'm gonna do in my
That's a
on the
really
way.
good
And
idea,
definitely
actually. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah,
perfect. Do
I
it.
really recommend 108 sun salutations. I have done it on the first day of 2026 with my best friend. And I remember she was like, Magda, come on, it's New Year. And I said, no, we said we will done it. Let's do it. And we had some of, moments that she said, Magda, I just tired. I want to quit. And I said, okay, Anita, let's go. Let's do it. We can do it. And after we finished, we were like so happy, full of energy, full of emotions. We were so proud of ourselves. And as we mark in the training a new beginning with this 108 sun salutation, so we mark the beginning of being a teacher. I put this practice and I mark every year with 108 sun salutation to open the new energy and to open a new chapter. So you, I think, pursue me to do 108 sun salutations in 21st of June. I will do that
Yeah.
in the evening
No, perfect. I
to
think this is
celebrate.
as you said, like the best way to start the year, definitely. So it's again a year for us, the next one year to the other, from the one yoga day to another yoga day for the next year. So definitely we can start this way as well.
I am going to start this new energy to buy a new mat. That's my goal for next week. I need a new one.
Perfect.
That's my celebration. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Now,
treat yourself with the 108 concentration after.
okay, we'll do to open the mat and to sit with the new mat. Yes, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Where can our listeners follow you, Himanshu?
Definitely you can always follow me on my Instagram, which is called as himanshu.yoga. And yeah, you can I keep posting some informative reels where I talk about how to, if there's some poses, if we are doing in a little bit on a wrong way, how to correct yourself, align yourself by your, like without having someone, you can just align yourself. You can have a small information from there as well. And I keep posting about my journey towards the yoga, and also some trainings. If you are interesting or any of the people are interesting, they can always reach back to me there, and I can help them whatever they need.
And you have like online classes with Yoga Union from time to time on the
Yes,
weekends. So you
yes.
posted times when we can join you online, yeah?
Very right. Like I keep posting them. I do them every weekend, like either on Saturday or Sunday, one of the day. And I'm gonna do it because a lot of students are asking for that from the weekdays as well. So now I'm gonna quick sooner. I'm gonna start for the weekdays as well, like twice a week, basically, or three times a week. Let's depends on the time I have. So yes, I keep doing that online classes. If you are also interested, definitely you can have all the links from the bio, and you can sign up from there.
We need to make our promise, see, and come together to online classes with Himanshu.
Yes,
Yeah, we
You
correct.
need to
have
do
to.
We
that
will.
for sure.
Yeah,
When we
definitely.
have the vacation break before coming back for season 2, we'll have
Yes,
much
that's a
more
good
time
idea.
for that.
Good.
Perfect. Let's do that.
That's great. Thank you so much, Himanshu, for joining us again and accepting our invitation again. It was wonderful to spend time with you. I'm so happy, and I think our listeners will be happy too because they
Because
asked
you
for
asked
you
for
again.
Himanshu and
We
he's back.
deliver. Yeah.
Yes.
That's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I mean, it was such a, again, lovely pleasure to see you, both of you again, and to all of them. And yeah, I was already super excited about this. And I think we have a lot of interesting talk and interesting conversation, which, especially when you talk about the male wellness, I think not so many people think about it. But I think you bring up this topic, which is a great thing. And I'm sure, I hope people find some beneficial out of it. So thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
We
Really.
will for sure invite you in season 2.
Of course.
Yes.
Perfect.
Don't tell any other guest.
Don't. Thank you so much,
I'll be
Himanshu.
there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye for
Thank you.
now. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye. Bye.
So that's the wrap of season 1. We want to thank a lot of people, but because it's not a goodbye, it's a see you soon, we will be quick.
Yes. So first of all, thank you all to you for following us and watching us and spending time with us in these 25 episodes.
Second of all, we want to thank to all of our guests. Yen, Sia, Aka, Himanshu, Dr. Lam, Ernest, and Eleni. And I think the third of all, we want to thank each other for taking this crazy ride from the past 6 months.
Yes, we've never thought about how far we will go, 25 episodes, but here we are, and we made it. So we've done everything by ourselves, and we are happy that we have created the Monday Duo podcast for you. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Tell us what you think. Follow us on our IG so you know exactly when we're coming back for season 2. You don't want to miss that.
Yeah, and on the break, just watch the season 1, the episodes that you might skip because you lack of time. Just watch all 25 episodes of season 1 on the summer break, and we will see you in season 2 soon. So we are not saying see you next Monday, see you in season 2 of the Monday Duo podcast. Bye.
Yes. Bye for now.